Hey, how's it going everyone? Today we are going to be talking about a few things here, including the latest patch 1.1.3 that's going to be coming towards us at the end of this week. And we're going to also talk about a new loot cave that is really going to be useful, and you're going to collect a lot of legendaries, including some uniques. What we're going to do here is go towards the left side, talk to the occultists, and we're going to craft a few sigils. If you have some that you do not need, absolutely scrap them. And then try to find this one right here, which is going to be Older's Cave. Once in front of it, go ahead and enter inside. There's a few things that we want to look out for, of course, is the shrines, because there's a potential chance that you may be able to activate an event. And you can also gather in a bunch of enemies, as well as the chest at the end that can possibly drop something. Not only is this cave great for legendaries, there is a great chance that you could pick up something like a Malignant Heart along the way. As you can tell right here, one has dropped. All I have to do is interact with it because thankfully now they've reduced it down to 3 seconds, I believe. Now, in this next clip right here, you're going to see quite a few enemies. And I mean, this whole entire cave is packed. This is why it makes it such an optimal farming spot, because the fact that there's so many enemies, elites, this gives you a higher chance of those legendaries popping up. And the best part is that, yeah, this is a nightmare dungeon, so the enemies are definitely going to be compact in this because of the recent update where they adjusted all the mob density in both Helltides and the Nightmares. What you see right here is one legendary as well as a Wrathful Malignant Invoker, I believe it was. So in this next clip right here, you're going to see quite a few enemies, including a legendary. This is why I recommend this cave. I mean, this is my third legendary that I've been able to see drop. So now, what we're going to do is obviously not skip out on just the gold, because we need to pick up some of these yellow rare items. These can be traded in so that you can grab more currency, right? Because gold is a necessity in this game, especially when you're trying to reroll certain things. Now, if you are on the latest season, I would recommend using the season blessing or seasonal blessing, whichever it's called. Then you want to use your season blessings on the first one, which is going to give you a lot more XP. And or if you want to grab more currency, there is the other one, which I believe is bargaining. This way, when you do pick up these yellow rare items here, you can trade them in for a lot more. So let's talk about how you can reset a Nightmare Dungeon. Let's say that you want to reset Older's Cave, or this one, for example, right here, which obviously I would recommend the one prior, but we're starting off on a clean slate. We're going to go into this cave like we would typically, and you want to go in and just clear out a certain amount of enemies, right? Let's say that you're trying to do this as if you were trying to farm it. Go towards the very end, do not complete the boss. And then what you're going to do is go on the map here and leave the dungeon. Now, the other option, you can use the emote wheel and leave that way. Once you're outside of the dungeon, here's the thing that I've noticed in the previous comments is that some of you have not been able to reset this officially, right? You wait 2 minutes and then right here, you can see right here, nothing has reset. What I would recommend is give it about 3 minutes of waiting. So right here, I've waited 3 minutes and now I'm going to go back in, and everything should be reset. So for sort of a recap here, we're going to be using this mainly on Older's Cave. You want to not complete the last objective, so this way you can reset the Nightmare Dungeon. Now, you are going to be missing out on the sigil. Is that a huge deal? Probably not. I mean, especially if you're already past a certain level. What this is great for is just leveling up your XP in general, grabbing legendaries and unique items, Malignant Hearts if you do have one of those things triggered in the seasonal blessings, and you can obviously sell your items for higher price if you definitely have something there. This is a great method overall so that you can grab a crap ton. I recommend this for not only XP but obviously everything that I mentioned before. Now, with that method out of the way, let's talk about patch 1.1.3 and see exactly what they've changed. What we can see right here is patch notes, 1.1.3 build, gameplay updates, and then right there where it says monsters, there's also crowd control sources. What they've done is actually made it a little bit easier for us to have some more recovery time, and so that we have less time being crowd controlled as well, and we'll get into that. What I love about this next part is that they've made it a lot easier for these dungeons, because if you guys are not aware, cold enchanted elites were just being a pure pain. Like, they would freeze you and then you try to attack and then you'd be frozen again. They've actually fixed this. The first bulletin point says cold enchanted elites that attack in quick succession, ghost archers, and snake broods will no longer proc the cold enchanted on every hit. Chilling wind will spawn overlapping walls less often, which means you'll stop being freezed, and it'll overall become more easier to go around these dungeons without being annoyed, right? The stun ability from the Cannibal Gorger can now be more easily avoided. Increase the cooldown on cold Goatman ice pillars. Reduce the amount of chill applied from the cold spider attack. Reduce the stun duration from Nagari snake eyes from 1.5 to 1.25 seconds. I probably butchered the name there, by the way. And last but not least, other changes that reduce how often the player can be targeted by crowd control. The developer note says right here, quote, these changes are aimed at the player having less time being crowd controlled and receiving more recovery time after being crowd controlled, especially at higher world tiers. This means that you should be able to have an easier time going through these tiers. Now, I use the word easier because I'm just using that in terms of like being annoyed, because I mean, it's just like it's easier to go through these dungeons without feeling too annoyed and like wanting to rage quit, right? Now, continuing on towards the bottom here for general, the death explosions from fire enchanted monster releases one less wave and deals 20% less damage. The damage from bloated corpse fiends attack have been reduced by 14%. These are just additional things to help out, and I'm sure that will help out with Nightmare Dungeons. And last but not least, for gameplay, when the following skills and powers were applied a player on a monster, other players were unexpectedly able to benefit from that effect. The issue has been fixed. Skill and passive, and you can see the list right there, Paragon nodes and glyphs, and it's as it says. So there's just various things that have been fixed within this, but I thought I would point those ones out specifically. I do not believe there has been any glitches that have been fixed, so you should be good in that area if you're into the infinite spawn or possibly some of the other stuff that I've posted. But other than that, I hope you guys have enjoyed the video. If you have any questions, leave them down below. I will answer them within the first hour or two, as I've always say at the end of these videos. And also, thank you to everyone that is currently subscribed. Appreciate the love and support, and see you all in the next video.